There's one thing that I've been kind of putting off a little bit. There is some carbon fiber damage that the panel had when it arrived. I can't say I've ever repaired carbon fiber, really. So this will be interesting. I think what I'm gonna do is try and dig out the cracks the best that I can and then re-epoxy it. Okay, this will be an interesting one. Here we go. Okay, you could kind of see what I was doing. I used a few new razor blades, and then I just hold it flat and scrape, and then all of the coat that was on there came off, and it's pretty much down to the fibers now. I don't know if you can see that on camera. You can kind of see how it's glowing a little bit. You can actually feel the fibers now. And that removed basically all the cracks. So now to test it, what I'm doing is I'm using just water and squirting it and seeing what shows up while it's wet. I think that'll do. I don't see any cracks anymore, so I think that'll do. So now I'll mask it off and then start mixing up the epoxy stuff and recoating it. Put a few coats on it and then we'll block it out so it's smooth. Cool. Alright, so I mixed up some epoxy. So I guess we're gonna put it on. See how it goes. Alright, so it's the next day. I let this sit overnight. I also did another coat. I didn't show that on camera. But I mean, you can't really see the cracks, you just see how wavy it is because of the way it was applied. So now what I'm going to do is block sand this out so it's flat and smooth. And then we're going to see where we're at. There's a little bit of pooling that happened right there. So I'm going to have to sand that out a bit. But yeah, I'm really happy that you can't see any of the cracks now. I think that turned out really good. Cool. Alright, I'm gonna sand it out. Alright, I think that'll just about do. I think clear coat will get the rest of it. There's a tiny little spot right there. I don't think that's going to matter. Probably looks weird on camera. I think though if we squirt it with water now, it'll fill in all of the little scratches and make it look nice. Let's find out. Alright, that didn't quite go as planned. Okay, so I just quickly wet sanded it with 500 off camera right after I put the camera down. And now the water's beating up nice and staying on the surface. So that's what it'll look like when it has clear coat on it. There's like a thin spot right here. See how you can see through it? Unfortunately, that's just how it is. But yeah, I think that looks amazing for my first time fixing a carbon fiber crack, you know. I don't know how much the light's messing it up on camera. We are focused right. So, cool guys. Pretty happy with that. Just another thing now that I know how to do. Okay, so got the rear bumper here. Now what we need to do is strip the paint. I think what I'm going to try using is aircraft stripper, which is, let me grab a second. Alright, we're going to try using this stuff. We're going to see how that does against it. So, yeah, rather than sanding it all down. Okay, so I only have a few minutes on the memory card left. But normally what happens is I use a power washer, but that wasn't starting. I don't know if it needs a new spark plug or what, but I've just been going over it by hand. Usually it gets all the little remains of it. So I might have to get a new spark plug or just DA the rest of this out. I might just sand it out or just go over it one more time tomorrow. But I'm gonna let this fully sit out for one day. Okay, so I got the bumper sanded out. That's looking pretty good. Yeah, so the bumper's looking good. Cool. Came out good. I'm happy to see too that there's no damage or anything really. So really happy with that. Looks really good. Cool. Cool. Alright, now so what I'm gonna do is the bumper, I don't know if you remember, but it flexes quite a bit. So I'm gonna add another layer or two of fiberglass. Hopefully we can remove a lot of that flex to keep it more stout. Because if you're going down the highway, that wind is gonna constantly be pushing it in. We don't want that. So I'm gonna start by grinding it down, clean it up, blow it out, and then start laying some fiberglass. So with the fiberglass cured, this is now as hard as a freaking brick. So we don't have to worry about it flexing anymore. Yeah, that is nice and hard. Now what I'm gonna do is get it on a bumper stand and sand the bumper out. Cool. Alright, so the bumper is mostly sanded out now. There's a little bit of an issue right here, over here, and right there. So I'm gonna sand those down with 80 grit, and then we're gonna fill them with some body filler, just so they're level. That's why I block the panel off, so we could see the low spots like that. There was an interesting thing where I didn't realize is, I don't know if I can pick that up on camera. I also need to put body filler right here. But right here on both sides, there's a like weird C to it, where it humps, where it stays in and then comes out right here. I don't know if that got picked up when I was sanding the whole thing down, but that's on both sides. I didn't realize that was a thing until I started sanding it. It's kind of cool. Alright, I'm gonna get that in filler, get this in filler, then it should be ready for primer. Alright, so we're going to start on the door now. I'm going to take the rest of the stuff off. Then we're going to start stripping it down, getting it in primer. It's very weird. So normally there's actually a bead of seam sealer that goes along this edge. Same with over here. But that's all stripped off. And I think there's supposed to be like this, can't remember the name, this stuff right here, this gooey stuff that helps support it, the skin. I think there's supposed to be some right here. Cannot remember for the life of me. Same with over here. So I'm wondering if this has been reskinned. That's why I was having fitment issues, or what's going on. But I got it to fit pretty good now, so, and I'm not able to find a driver's side door, so we're gonna have to make this one work. But I think I got it fitted pretty good now, so we're gonna strip it down and get it in primer. So I got the other door off. Just wanted to quick show you guys some of the stuff I was talking about on the other door. So see how there's a bead of seam sealer right here. And then on the inside you can see they got that stuff right there. Versus this door doesn't have any of that. Nothing there. So that leads me to believe that this door was reskinned. But man, whoever put the skin on did a really good job. Because usually you take a dolly on one side and then you hammer it on, so it would cause waves. But it's really smooth. So I'm wondering if they use like a bead roller or something. Anyway, I just wanted to show you guys that quick. inside of our doors stripped down on both doors. I'm going to start blocking the top side of the outside of the doors. Don't think I'm gonna bring it down to bare metal because there is a super thin layer of body filler on it just for a nicer finish. So we're just gonna leave that on, but just block it out, make sure it is all flat. I'm sure it is. So, cool. Alright, so things came out pretty good for the most part. There's one issue that I gotta fix, which is over by the mirror. So it's not sanded there. I think the light's picking it up so you guys can see it. So these were welded shut at some point. There's no way I can get my camera in there to show you guys. But you can kind of see some of the weld right there. I don't know if the light's good enough. So I'm guessing there was just, you know, there's so much heat when you weld it shut, cause this to warp right here. See some high spots. So I'll sand these down with 80 grit, then glaze over it. This should be good to go. You can definitely see though it was not flat. Like right here is definitely not flat. Right here was pretty bad too. See right there. So. Alright, so this one is looking a bit better. It still has the issue with the mirror. So I'm gonna have to mud this side too. There was a low spot right here that I got out. That was just about it, really. You can see this one took less sanding because it's pretty flat compared to the other one. So yeah, I'm gonna put this in body filler and get it squared away. I think the doors will be ready, and then we have the hatch that I'll be doing tomorrow. So, cool. Alright, so I got the hatch off. We're gonna strip the inside down, flip it over, and block sand the top. Alright. So it's getting ready to start. I saw that the vent tag was still on. This is the only panel that had the vent tag still, so I peeled off the paint that was over it. And it is the same panel that came on the car from the factory, and the vent tag matches. So I'm gonna take that off now. Alright, so what I'm gonna try and do is destroy the paint, but cram a razor blade underneath so it comes off all on one. Doesn't that help that it's been repainted before? It's not perfect, but it'll do. So you can see the paint that I scraped off. Usually the inside center here, where am I? The inside center is clear. So what we'll do is I have a folder, so much of paperwork for the car. I'm going to include that for the owner. Cool. Alright, so we got the inside of the hatch pretty much stripped down. I'm going to flip it over and block sand the outside now. Alright, so I got the hatch blacked down. There was only a few little waves right here, but the wing covers that so you don't see it, but it did block out. So now my plan is to flip this upside down and the doors upside down, and what I'm going to do, primer the inside of those, and then the next day come back, flip these back right side up, primer all of this and that with the right side up. Cool. All right. We are ready to spray primer. So I'm gonna go mix some up. We'll get spraying. We'll just have that sitting in here for now. Should be fine in here. Push it over here. So yeah. Mix up some primer, here we go. Alright guys, so it's the next day with primer. We got the stuff flipped over here. Gotta finish cleaning off of the dust and stuff. The bumper needs to be prepped properly. So what that includes is properly cleaning it. Going over it, it just removes all of these like dirt spots and stuff and cleans it really good. And then we're gonna follow that up with a adhesion promoter that just helps the primer really bond to the plastic really well then. So that's what I'm gonna be doing, cleaning that up, and then dusting the tops off and stuff, and then we're spraying quite a lot of primer. So. Alright, time to start, I don't know if you guys can hear me. Time to start spraying. Get some primer mixed up. I got 2 batches ready to go, so I don't have to mix up while I'm spraying. I got, I don't know if you can see it, the rear bumper has an adhesion promoter for the primer sprayed on. The rear bumper, the plastic one, the fiberglass one has a lot of primer already on it, so it shouldn't really matter. Time to start spraying. Here we go. finally got the whole body in primer. How cool is that, guys? Cannot believe it. So the next like big step will be the engine bay. But yeah, I'm really, really happy to see the car finally at this point. I know the owner's really happy too. So, really awesome stuff. All right, guys, that'll do it for me. Appreciate all the support. Hit me with that like button if you enjoyed this video. Consider subscribing if you want to see more of the transformation of the 1997 Toyota Supra. Thank you. Peace.